It was early winter when I first moved into the old apartment on Marlin Street, the kind of place that felt stuck in another time, quiet, lonely, and just slightly off. It sat between two abandoned houses, both covered in ivy, and cracked windows that never reflected light the right way. The rent was unbelievably cheap, too cheap, but I told myself it was just age. Old buildings come with quirks, right? The caretaker, Mr. Nair, was waiting for me when I arrived. A frail man with yellowed eyes and a cough that sounded older than he was. He handed me the keys and said, almost without looking at me, "Letters still come here sometimes if you get any. Just leave them by the gate, the name won't match yours." His tone was flat, rehearsed, like he'd said it too many times before. I laughed. "Sure, no problem." But for some reason, the way he looked past me as I walked inside made my stomach twist. The first week passed quietly. Cold mornings, long silences, the sound of floorboards groaning at night as if the building itself was breathing. It felt lonely but in a manageable way, until the packages started arriving. The first one came on a Tuesday. A small brown box sitting neatly by my door. No return address, just a name scrawled in faded black ink. For Anaya K. I didn't know anyone named Anaya. Probably a mix-up, I thought. I set it aside and forgot about it. The next morning there was another, and the next night, another. Same shape, same handwriting, same name. By the third night, curiosity replaced caution. I sat at my kitchen table, the air still and heavy, and carefully peeled the tape off the top. Inside was a single black and white photograph. A woman standing in front of my building, her head slightly tilted, a faint smile on her lips, and in the reflection of the upstairs window, my window, was a dark silhouette. I felt the air drain from my lungs. I tried to tell myself it was just coincidence or an old picture from before renovations, but the photo looked decades old, and that reflection, it didn't look human. That night, I didn't sleep. Every creak of the floor felt deliberate. Every faint noise sounded like someone walking barefoot across the hall. By morning, I was exhausted. I went straight to the caretaker's office. "Mr. Nair," I said, "who's Anaya K?" He froze. His hand stopped mid-air, holding a ring of old keys. For a long time, he said nothing. Then, in a voice that almost cracked, "She used to live there, before the fire." My stomach turned. "What fire?" I asked. He looked toward the hallway, eyes distant. "Don't open anything that's not yours," he whispered. Then he walked away. That night I got home late. A new package was waiting, but this time it was heavier. When I opened it, there were two photographs inside. The first showed the same woman, Anaya, closer to the window now. The second made my blood run cold. It was me, standing at the same window, staring down at the street, taken from outside. My hand shook so badly I dropped it. The lights flickered, and then 3 slow knocks on my door. I didn't move. When I finally dared to look through the peephole, no one was there. Just a small brown box sitting on the floor. This one had new handwriting, jagged, shaky. "Stop returning my things." I left it untouched till morning. But when I finally opened it, the box was empty, except for 3 words scratched into the cardboard. "Check the walls." The bedroom wall near the window had a faint crack running down the plaster. I pressed against it. The section gave way, hollow. Inside was another photo. It was Anaya again, but this time, her face was burned, half melted, half human, and behind her, standing in the shadows, was the same silhouette. Only now, it was clear. It was someone inside the room with her. After that, I couldn't stop digging. I found old medical bracelets, scorched envelopes, hospital tags, all marked Patient Anaya K, Ward 3, Janpad Civil Hospital. That hospital had burned down 6 years ago, the same one from those local urban legends. I called Mr. Nair again. No answer. When I went to his quarters the next morning, the door was open, his bed was empty, and on the table, A neat stack of unopened parcels, every single one addressed to me. That night I set up my camera, pointed it at the door. Lights dimmed, midnight approaching. When the clock struck 12, the door slowly creaked open. No sound, no movement, just a gust of freezing wind and the faint smell of burning fabric. When I checked the footage the next morning, my hands went numb. Frame by frame, the camera showed the door opening and a woman stepping inside, her hair matted, her hospital gown charred and torn, half her face gone, the other half barely human. She was holding a small brown package. The last frame showed her turning toward the camera. Her lips moved, forming words. And then my phone buzzed. A message. Unknown number. You shouldn't have opened it. That was 2 weeks ago. Now, every night at midnight, a new package appears by my door. Empty, colder than the last. Sometimes I wake up to the faint sound of crackling fire, and the smell, that same burnt scent, drifting from the hallway. This morning there was another parcel waiting on my bedside table. I didn't hear it arrive, but written across the top in fresh black ink were 2 words that made my heart stop cold. Welcome back.